The dream of talking to animals, it's been with us forever, right? From old myths to pretty much every Disney movie. Well, it turns out that a really groundbreaking new framework suggests that artificial intelligence might finally be the key to making that happen. Let's get into it.
So, the researchers behind this whole idea start with a really provocative question. What if our entire history of trying to communicate with our closest living relatives has been based on a huge mistake? What if the problem isn't them, but us? And this slide just lays out the massive shift in thinking perfectly. For decades, the old way was all about teaching apes our systems, sign language, symbol boards, you name it. We were asking them to learn human. But the new way? It completely flips the script. It uses AI to learn apish first, directly from them. Now, to really get how revolutionary this new idea is, we first have to look back and understand why the old methods, as amazing as they were, eventually just hit a wall. We've all heard the incredible stories, right? Apes like Coco, who learned sign language, or Kanzi, who used a special keyboard with symbols. These were huge achievements. But they all shared one fundamental limitation. We were forcing the apes into our world, using our concepts. It was kind of like handing someone a dictionary with only our words in it, and then judging how well they can express themselves. It didn't just limit them, it meant we were constantly in danger of just hearing our own ideas echoed back at us. Okay, so this new framework comes along and proposes something completely different. It's a massive shift away from that human-centric model to one that is, for the very first time, truly ape-centric. The core of it is this idea called ape-centric semantics. Now, I know that sounds a little academic, but the idea behind it is actually super simple and really powerful. Instead of us defining what food or play means and teaching it to the ape, we let the apes show an AI what those things mean in their world, through their own actions, their sounds, their social cues, the whole shebang. So the most important thing to get is this: the AI becomes the student and the ape becomes the teacher. This quote from the research paper just nails it. The meaning, the semantic grounding, it starts with the apes. This isn't just a tiny adjustment to the old way. It is a complete reimagining of the entire process, and it's all designed to get our own human biases out of the way. So how in the world does this actually work? Well, it's not just one magic AI black box. It's a really cleverly designed 4-part pipeline that builds this communication bridge, one piece at a time. Let's break it down. Okay, think of it like this. The ape model. That's the student who's trying to become fluent in apish. The simulator is like, I don't know, a holodeck that lets that student practice for thousands of years in just a few weeks. The translator, that's your bilingual expert who can map the concepts from apish into human language. And then finally, the human LLM, well, that's our friendly interface that turns it all into plain English for us. Now, this first step, the ape model, is maybe the most important part. It learns in a totally different way. It gets 0 human labels. It just watches and listens. It analyzes video, body language, sounds, everything, and it slowly learns to predict what the ape is going to do next. Its only feedback is what the ape actually does. Once that ape model has a decent understanding, it gets plugged into a simulator. This is so cool. It lets the researchers generate massive amounts of realistic data, virtual years of it, without ever having to bother or stress out the real apes. It's a way to totally supercharge the learning process while keeping the animal's well-being as the #1 priority. Now, this is where the translation magic really happens. This translator model looks at all the internal patterns the ape model learned, and it starts mapping them to human concepts. So it might learn that a specific cluster of behaviors and sounds in the ape's world lines up perfectly with our concept of, say, let's play, or back off. It's basically the AI Rosetta Stone. Okay, but whenever you hear about AI translating stuff, a huge question should pop into your head. It's a fair one, a critical one, and these researchers have actually built their entire system around trying to answer it. Exactly. How do you stop the AI from hallucinating? Just inventing meanings that aren't really there. It's the central challenge, right? And this framework has this really sophisticated set of checks and balances to make sure the translations are the real deal. So here's how they do it. First, they check its predictive power. If the AI really understands, it should be able to guess what the ape will do next. Second, consistency. Can it translate a concept from ape to human and then back to ape without losing the original meaning? Third, and this is so important, it's designed to know what it doesn't know. It can actually say, I'm not sure. And maybe the most important metric of all, does using this system actually make the apes' lives better? Their well-being is the ultimate measure of success.
So the output you get isn't just a vague guess, it's structured data. For example, it might spit out something like this: a play invite with a confidence of 0.78. This tells the human caregiver not only what the AI thinks is going on, but just how sure it is. If the confidence is too low, you get no translation at all.
Yeah, and this commitment to safety is literally hard-coded into the system. If the apes show any sign of stress, the system automatically shuts down all interaction. As we said, every translation needs a confidence score, and at the end of the day, the experienced human caregivers always have the final say. The AI is just a tool, it is never the boss.
So the technology here is absolutely incredible, but the implications go so far beyond just figuring out if an ape wants a banana. This is really about fundamentally changing our perspective. I mean, if this framework actually works, it would be a monumental step forward for science. Not just some clever trick, but a genuinely valid, two-way channel for communication. It would let us listen to another intelligent species on its own terms, which could help us finally see beyond our own, very human point of view. And the ultimate goal here is, well, it's truly profound. The researchers believe this could evolve way beyond just simple translations of wants and needs. They think it could become a tool for shared storytelling and mutual understanding. Can you imagine learning about the world from a completely non-human mind? Which leaves us with this one final, really mind-bending question. This whole framework is designed for apes, our closest relatives. But if it works for them, what comes next? What kind of secrets are hiding in the clicks of a dolphin, the deep rumbles of an elephant, or the songs of a whale, just waiting for the right translator to finally help us understand?